Shalom, my name is Yeshua Yaakov Ben Avraham, and I'm making this video from Jerusalem. I'm the author of the trilogy Humanomics, its central organizing principles receive to give, and the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor. Guerdon is a word that means without reward, and it was done guerdon. And there's been a number of guerdons in my life, that's the reason for the choice of words. Now the advice that Barack Obama needs, guerdon. Okay, on freezing the capital markets. Sounded paradoxical to George Bush and 700 billion, another 500 billion later, and 2 billion, and now with guarantees we're past trillion. 700 billion, and then another 300, another 500 billion, got us to 1.5, got us to 2 trillion, and now we're with loan guarantees and a number of other off-balance sheet guarantees from the United States government. We've passed 7 trillion in the bailout. Well, guess what, folks? It's dead on arrival. Okay, hasn't worked. It's failed. All right. Therefore what? Paradoxically, I repeat, it sounded good, but Barack Obama comes into office January 20th, and the dilemma is this. He's gone with the Washington gang, the watering hole gang, and he's chosen experience over a macro hypothesis. That's a real and a genuine solution because it's unknown. Well, Pharaoh tried that, and he ended up with his first 30 and 40 advisors, increasing them up to 400 until he finally was confronted with the dilemma, and that dilemma was the experience wasn't working, and so he had to choose the unknown. He took a Jewish slave boy out of Pharaoh's prison, and his name was Yosef, and he got his solution. Well, actually, the way Yosef relates it significantly is that God will provide Pharaoh a good answer. Well, God will provide Barack Obama a good answer. Okay, so that dilemma between experience and authenticity, even though unknown, is his dilemma he comes to office with. Add to that he ends up ultimately with a choice that's a dichotomy. He has to separate between being a run-of-the-mill president, which he's already tracked to become, and a transformational president, which is really a command and control situation that's compelled by events. Well, history has compelled that he be a transformational president, and he's in denial about that. In fact, I have a theory that ground zero will be him being elected president imposed upon him personally. Ground zero. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, all right. So Barack is said to the Reno Gazette. I think this is one of those times in history where we're faced with where a transformational president is what's needed. Okay, so well, it's more than needed. It's what we've got, and it's what he's got, whether he likes it or not. Okay, so what's the logic of the solution that he hasn't got yet? Is he has to have in possession of a short-term and a long-term solution. Well, Keynesian demand stimulus is his 700 billion, on top of George's 700 billion. It's going to work any better. And that's also dead on arrival, but he's going to run the program with that. And this, we're going to save, and we're going to create 2.5 million jobs by 2011. That's dead on arrival because 5 million will be out of work by that time. Okay, so what we really need is to go with that Yosef prescription in Pharaoh's prison. We have to get a wise and discerning guy to advise President Obama. All right, so you got 40 or 50 economic advisors all standing up there on the stage, and not one of them has the answer. and they all know it, and you're Barack Obama's going to know it also very soon. All right. So what does he need? What's missing? Well, to begin with, he has to have two things. He has to have a short-term solution, which is demand stimulus, and that, even if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. What does matter, folks, is that he's got to get correct the long-term strategy. The long-term strategy is the new economic paradigm, and to get that right, he has to have the author of the new economic paradigm, and that's me, folks. Well, I'm not going to Washington, so Barack had better get Air Force One to Jerusalem, and there's no place to land it, so he's going to have to land it in Tel Aviv and fly in a helicopter here. But he can get up the learning curve, and that's not arrogance, not at all. The bottom line is very simple. He has to ascend the learning curve. He thinks there's no time for the learning curve. Well, it's just the opposite. There's nothing but a learning curve. In fact, the truth be known, there's only one game in town, and that's the new economic paradigm. And that's the long-term strategy, because that's going to restore confidence in the world capital markets. It's going to provide a sustainable growth and job creation, good-paying jobs. It's going to transform the structure of the American economy, taking it from 14 trillion in GDP to 45 to 50 trillion over 15 to 20 years, requiring about a 5 trillion phase one investment through the first 10 to 15 years. And after that, they don't even know what the numbers are. But that's not terribly important. We have to get it started. And significantly, it's going to eliminate the national debt, the trade deficit, and the Social Security deficit, and it'll triple the purchasing power of the currency. Those are the rough heuristics. And so it's a win-win situation. So this is what he needs. He needs the new economic paradigm, and he needs the vision, the over-the-horizon vision. And that has to be grounded in world-class science and technology and content, which Humanomics in general, central organizing principle of receiving to give, which is a new cognitive behavioral science first principle, and the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor, which replaces in historical terms the division of labor, identifying information in classical terms as the new agent of transformation, comprised of 4 sub-macro technology models: network services, systems, natural intelligence, sustainable human development. These are huge, huge models in and of themselves, configured as world-class global technological infrastructure, which delivers, bringing the Virginia model to all the states of the United States. Now, this is what Barack Obama needs. And the stuff that is being toted out on the stage is just not good enough, folks. It ain't going to work. And so therefore what? We have to take and, we have to make what is possible probable. And, talking about the transformation of the economy as a possibility, well, the fact of the matter with the economic environment is probable. And without it, it's not even possible. That's where we are. Okay, so theorizing about transformations and the bottom line on the ground, confronting the reality of it with the actual solution and getting on with that is quite another matter. Then, of course, the way do we do this? How do we get these logics into the public domain? And we have to brand it globally. And Barack knows all about the techniques of using viral media and the web and the internet and branding. Look, in a couple of weeks we could have everything branded around the world with a few billion people understanding what it is. Okay, so that's really where we are, and so therefore I'll summarize. He got elected with soft power. He was accepted, his articulation was accepted. But governing and delivering the solution requires hard power. That's world-class science and technology. And that's what Humanomics trilogy and its 2 paradigms, the integration of labor, the new economic paradigm, and its central organizing principle, receive to give, is all about. I'm the author. Thank you for listening. I'm Yeshua Yaakov from Jerusalem. Thank you.